Will Jared Bowen be fit for Game Week 14? Here is my Game Week 14 team selection, where I look back at my Game Week 13 team and look forward to my Game Week 14 captains, transfers, and team selection. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Rue and welcome back to another FPL video. So like I said, in today's video, we're going to be looking back at my Game Week 13 team and then looking forward to Game Week 14 transfers, captains, and team selection as a whole. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe and smash a like on this video as it does really help me out. So first up, we'll go with Game Week 13, which was, I'd say, a very average game week. Another red arrow for me. Onana was probably the saving grace out of this team. So 9 points. He's done amazing the last 3 game weeks. He's got 2 save points, 1 bonus as well, and obviously the clean sheet, which is really great. Defense was actually okay, I guess. Lascelles did well for me, 7 points, which was really happy with a goal. Other than that, though, pretty terrible. Tsimikas came off the bench for an injured Bowen. Cash got taken off at half time against Spurs, and then Gahey conceded 2 against Luton. Not the best. Midfield, again, not the best. Saka with 8-pointer, which really happy with considering he only got an assist, but obviously the clean sheet and 2 bonus really did help him out there. Salah with an assist as well against Man City, only 5 points. Adingra, disappointing. He got a yellow card and didn't get any returns, which was a bit sad. Yeah, not in a Forest away. I did expect more from Adingra. Son captain, absolute fail, 2 points. He scored 3 goals, but they were all offside. I know a lot of people on Twitter have been saying, "Oh, what could have been? What could have been?" Listen, you're offside. You're offside. Do you know what I mean? If you're not smart enough to keep yourself onside, then that's not my problem. I don't think you are almost score if you're offside. For me, there were clear offsides as well. So absolutely disappointed with that one. Alvarez, another disappointing week as well. He hasn't actually scored in a while since Game Week 9, so only 1 assist since then as well. So for me, his days are numbered in my team, especially with the wild card in the back pocket. I can be very ruthless with this team, as I know I can get them back in Game Week 19. Haaland with a goal and a bonus, 7 points. Probably should have captained him, and the bench is absolute nobody. So in terms of that, it was a mixed week. I probably just about survived it. I didn't really drop rank too much. Only a few, maybe 100,000 or so. So for me, it's not the end of the world, and hopefully this wild card in Game Week 19 can revive my season. And this week as well. This week is a crucial week as all my players have pretty good fixtures, but we'll get onto that now. So now this is how my team lines up before any transfers for Game Week 14. In goal is Onana with Newcastle away. Obviously a really tough game, but Turner on my bench, it hasn't been playing, so Onana gets the nod. I could potentially play Turner just in case he does start, but I can't see that happening. So for me, Onana, basically starts for me. Hopefully, Newcastle have a bit of a hangover over that point against PSG, that last-minute penalty they conceded. They really did need to win that game, so hopefully they have a bit of a hangover and they're not into too much of a scoring fashion, but I'm not hopeful for an Onana clean sheet, to be honest, but he's been so great the last 3 game weeks that I can't really complain. Tsimikas gets a start in this team as well with Fulham at home. Hopefully he does start. I think he will start. He started the last 2 game weeks after missing out in Game Week 11, and then he started in Game Week 10 and 9 as well when Robertson got injured. So hopefully he does start, as the next 2 fixtures do look really good, and Liverpool have been really good defensively. They only conceded 11 goals this season, which is one of the best. Only Arsenal better than with 10 goals conceded. Sheffield United as well away next after Fulham at home, so hopefully he does start both them games and a couple clean sheets and maybe even an attacking return, but I am hopeful for Tsimikas. In terms of attacking wise though, I don't think he's shown enough. Obviously against Man City he hasn't, but against Brentford he wasn't too bad, 0.33, so we know he can get assists, and hopefully he does do that against Fulham. Lascelles next with Man United at home, not really worried about this one. Newcastle are so good at home. Potentially they could have a little bit of a hangover, like I said, from that Champions League game, but if anything, it will be a 0-0 rather than a a loss, to be honest. And I think away from home, I don't know how great Man United are, even though they did just beat Everton. So I'm confident of a Lascelles clean sheet in that one, as Botman is still a few weeks away. Matty Cash is a problem though, so he came off at half-time against Spurs, which was kind of a tactical change. Leon Bailey came on and played that kind of role. They've kind of gone to a back three where Digne is more attacking and Cash kind of tucks in, but we know someone else can do that as well. Konza can do that. So I'm a little bit worried about Cash, but I think he will start. Surely he has to start. Villa did play a lot better against Spurs in the second half, though, so potentially he could miss out. But I do have Gahey on my bench. It's not the ideal fixture with West Ham away, but I do have a playing defender on the bench, so that's why I'm going to be starting Cash this game week. We'll next move on to the midfield, where there's a lot to talk about. Yeah, so this is probably the most exciting part of my team, the most uneasy, unprecedented, all the uns part of my team. So it is a little bit lost, but I will start off with the people that are definitely going to be staying, because I do have 2 free transfers. So later on in the video, I will explain what my thoughts are behind them transfers and probably what I'm going to do. But for now, let's just talk about the players that are going to be staying. So Salah, Fulham at home, potential captain option. Really think Salah's going to do well this game week. Fulham, although they did do pretty well in the Monday Night Football, I do think they do concede a lot of goals, as we've seen in the Monday Night Football. And I think Salah is on for a haul. Captain, potentially. We'll talk about that in the forward section, but potentially. Saka staying in my team, Wolves at home. Still a little bit worried about Saka. Hasn't scored since game week 7, so there's quite a few game weeks without a goal, but he has been racking up them assists. So as long as he keeps doing that, I do want to keep Saka in my team. Hopefully he can get a goal against Wolves and kind of make that 7 to 8 points 12 points. So Saka is staying in my team. The other 3 though, Bowen, Adingra and Son, are up for sale, I'd say. I will be hearing out for Bowen news. Hopefully David Moyes does have some good news for us that Bowen does start. But we'll talk about that later on in the video with the transfers. But Palace at home is, I think, a good fixture for West Ham. They managed to get 2 wins on a bounce now. Obviously, one without Bowen in game week 13, where he did miss out. But they beat Forest as well and then Burnley. So not the toughest game, but I think Palace without Eze is going to be a different Palace. So I do think, even though he is an attacking player, I do think that does affect their pattern of play and their creativity. So for me, as an overall, I do fancy West Ham to win that game. And if Bowen does play, I fancy him to score 2. Adingra hasn't been great since I brought him in. I should have gone to Palmer earlier on. He did get a 9-pointer in game week 12, but apart from that, he hasn't really looked that great. In terms of expected assists, 0.07 against Forest and Brighton scored 3 goals. 0.00 expected goals, which is not what you want. But yeah, so his days are numbered. He will probably be leaving my team no matter what. But again, we'll talk about that later on in the video. And Son is a player that will probably come out if Bowen is injured. If Bowen is fit and Bowen does play the next game, so he is fit, ready for the next game, because he does have City away. Yes, I know Son loves playing City. Spurs love beating City, this and that, but I'm a bit worried about Spurs' creativity. I know they did create chances against Villa. So Son was 0.55 expected assists, 0.13 expected goals, and his numbers do look really, really good. But for me, I'm just worried about the fixtures as a whole. So City away, West Ham at home, and Derby is going to be tough. Newcastle at home as well, going to be tough. For me, I think the money is probably spent better elsewhere if Bowen is fit. But we'll talk about that again later on in the video. Now let's get on to the forwards. We'll get on to the forwards. So first up, we'll talk about Julian Alvarez, the Man City forward. So for, the 10th week, I'm going into the game week with 2 Man City forwards that start every game. If you said that before the season started, you probably think I'd be top of all my mini leagues and really, really high up in the ranks. Well, that's not the case. So obviously Haaland, everyone has, but Alvarez has done really, really well for me this season. But last few game weeks, especially since game week 9. He did score in game week 9, but since then he's only got 1 assist. So there's a little bit of a worry, especially as they had Bournemouth in that time. Don't get me wrong, the other games have been tough. Man United away, Chelsea away, Liverpool at home. But I am a bit worried about Alvarez. Spurs at home next. Obviously, Spurs don't have Romero, Van der Ven, but they will have Basuma back and potentially a doggy back. So for me, I don't think... I think Alvarez is a keep for this fixture only, but following that, it is a bit tricky. Over the next 4, though, the fixtures do look pretty good. After Spurs at home, they have Villa away, Luton away. Obviously, a really good game, but obviously, like I said earlier on in the video, Luton's defence is actually not that bad against the bigger teams. Palace at home, also in game week 17, obviously that blank in 18. So for me, I got Alvarez from a long time ago. His value that I've got in him is probably more than anyone that's watching this right now. So I got him for 6.6 million. His sell price is now 6.8, and if you want to buy him, he's 7.1. So I'd have to probably spend 0.3 more just to buy him back if I do buy him. His price may drop, so that could go down, but necessarily drops 1, that's still a 0.2 more than what I would be selling him for. So I'm a little bit worried, but I think Alvarez is a keep for this week, and then probably in game week for 15, I will be taking him out, maybe for someone like Isak or Solanke. Haaland, I do have the captain's armband on him. He's been a joke. A lot of people did take him out, which I think is a mistake. So he got 16 points. They probably took him out from the Arsenal game. So he got 8 points against Brighton, 16 against United, 16 against Chelsea, 7 against Liverpool. And I think this fixture is actually a really good one for him. Spurs have a high line. Haaland is quick, likes to get in behind. He's an absolute monster at home. And I think that's why I've gone the captain's armband on him. I think Salah is still a good option, but I think Haaland being at home just edges it. I know Salah's at home, but I think Haaland at home has a bigger difference than Salah being at home. And Fulham, although they have played pretty bad this season, I know they do have a good performance in them, whereas I know Spurs are probably a better team than Fulham, but that high line, having Emerson Royale and Ben Davies centre-back, doesn't scream solid to me. And I think with the way Ange plays, leaving that high line, I think Haaland can get him behind and punish Spurs. So that's why I've gone for Haaland captain. Don't get me wrong, I do think Salah is a really good option, but for now it is on Haaland. Transfer-wise, we will get into that in the next part of the video. But for now, I do think Haaland and Alvarez potentially will be staying until game week 18, where I'll be taking them out and then wildcarding in 19 to bring them back in. But let's get on to the transfers for game week 14. So my transfers now, as it stands, are going to be Dingra and Bowen out. So I am obviously waiting to hear Bowen news before I make any moves, which is definitely a good idea to do if you are thinking about taking out Bowen, especially as last week so many people brought in Bowen. And then obviously you got injured, which can happen with FPL. Obviously, you don't expect that to happen often, but it does happen. So for me, I'd wait, especially as West Ham are playing on Thursday. So even if he is fit, he could get injured again on that Thursday night, which is tonight if you are watching this straight away. For me, though, these were going to be my transfers. I think they're really, really good replacements. I will have 0.2 in the bank, so I do have a bit of spare cash with these transfers. So Gordon, I could go Palmer. Don't get me wrong, but I do slightly prefer Gordon. I know the fixtures don't look great, but in terms of the next 5 as a whole, I think Gordon's fixtures are a little bit better than Palmer's in terms of how good Newcastle are as well. The amount of replacements or fighting for Gordon's position, I think, is less than Palmer's position. So for that reason, I think I will go to Gordon. So he's got Man United at home, Everton away, Spurs away. Tough games, to be honest. Tough games. But Newcastle are a really good team. So and then especially the next 2, Fulham at home, Luton away. Potentially, I could work something out where I go Palmer and then go Mbeumo, who's on my list, and then take out Mbeumo for game week 18. So Gordon does have Luton away, but for me, I do think Gordon is the better option overall than Palmer, and I think he does give a little bit more than Palmer in terms of non-penalty goals. So for me, I think Gordon is the better option. And Mbeumo, a lot of people are going to be bringing him in this week. His price has gone up already. He's now 7 million. This season, 6 goals, 3 assists. So he hasn't he's done very, very well, but he hasn't set the world alight. And for me, he's only got an assist in his last 3, so it's not even like he's on great form. Obviously, there were tough games, though. West Ham, Liverpool and Arsenal, tough games. But the next 4 fixtures do look really good for Mbeumo. Luton at home is the obvious fixture, but I would throw a little bit of caution to the wind in terms of that fixture. Luton don't really concede many goals. I know everyone expects people to absolutely batter Luton, but they haven't really. Maybe against Chelsea they did, against some of the, I guess, bigger teams, if you want to call them bigger teams, Chelsea this year. But they have conceded 4. But in terms of on average, I don't think they can actually concede that many goals. I think it's a bit of a myth that we'll go to Luton and we'll batter them. And especially after that win, their confidence is going to be high. Their second win of the season. So for me, I don't think Luton is that team that you should be targeting that much. They conceded 1 against Crystal Palace, 1 against Man United, 1 against Liverpool. They conceded 3 against Aston Villa, but Villa are really good at home. They only conceded 1 against Spurs as well. So for me, they don't concede that many goals. Yes, there's odd times where they have been getting battered, but overall, I don't think they do concede that many goals. So I would throw a little bit of caution to the wind in terms of that. But I do think Mbeumo is a really good option for the next 4 game weeks as a whole. So he'll probably be my transfer in no matter what. Depending on, I guess, what news we get, though, I could go Son to Mbeumo and then do the move of Adingra to Gordon, have some money in the bank, and then maybe do next week, do Alvarez to someone like Isak, or Alvarez to maybe even someone like Solanke. So there is options out there. I'll probably just wait for Bowen news. I kind of prefer Bowen to be out, to be honest. So I've got these simple moves to make, 2 transfers. But if Bowen is fit, it does throw a little bit of a spanner in the works where I probably will have to keep Bowen for Palace at home, and then maybe do Son to Mbeumo, which doesn't sound great to me. But I guess we'll find out more when Bowen is in or out. But that was it for this video. Please make sure you do subscribe and smash a like on it too. And leave a comment below. What transfers are you making this game week, and who is your captain going to be? Good.